Okay. Preparing to live stream. So we're going live. Probably 5 seconds. All right. Okay. Preparing to live stream. So we're going All right. Live. Welcome, everyone. Probably 5 seconds. All right. Okay, we're live, Ray. Let's introduce ourselves and then take some questions from anybody who would like to ask anything about the upcoming Holland tour. But first, let's give a little bit of an overview and let's introduce you first, Ray, and then I'll introduce myself.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. So my name is Ray Eaton, and I'm the owner of Discover Garden Tours. And we have put together, this is just another amazing tour that we've got coming up on April 17th. And Kathy is going to be the group leader for that tour. and I just to kind of give you a little bit of background about who I am and who Discover Garden Tours is. So Discover Garden Tours is designed to put together international and domestic tours for people who are passionate about gardening, whether they're master gardeners or horticulturists or whatever they are. We design our tours to be, to have something for everybody that's on that tour, and that is our main focus. And it's for me, it's really an honor to be able to do this. Fortunately, my wife and I have been very blessed and have been able to travel all over the world. And we founded this business to be able to give back to people that have not had the opportunities that we have. We're here to create those opportunities. And so we just love doing what we're doing. And so we've been working with Kathy for about, I don't know, probably 9 months now, putting together this tour. And the full itinerary is available online. And I don't know, will we have a link for that, Kathy, or how will we do that?
Yeah, we can post a link in the comments here, and I can post to YouTube as well. And you could just give the website address verbally for those who aren't able to see the comments.
Okay, so the name of the company is actually, at least this division, is Discover Garden Tours, but our website. Oh, hello, Kitty.
That was if you heard some yelling in the background, it's not a baby, it's Fancy. So she wants to play.
That's funny.
Go ahead, Ray.
That's okay. So the website is discoverourtours.com. And if you go to discoverourtours.com, you can then click on any tour that's available on there. But what we're looking for primarily right now is you're going to want to click on garden tours. It'll give you a list of the tours that are available. There are actually 2 tours going to the Netherlands in April. The first is April 9th. And then the one that we're here today to promote is the one that happens on April 17th. And so you'll want to click on the itinerary for that. And the full itinerary is there, gives you a complete rundown of what every day looks like, what you're going to see, where you're going to stay, what you're going to eat, and all of that. The whole thing is there. And so not only is the itinerary there, but booking information is there as well. So, if you go through the itinerary and you're saying, yes, this is definitely something I want to do, you can just go ahead and book at that time right there. If you're going through it and you're saying, you know what, I'm very interested, but I've got a few questions, just email Kathy, and we can get the answers for, whatever question you may have, we have an answer for. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, I'm looking up the link so I can post it. But meanwhile, I should probably introduce myself, right?
That would be good.
So
I think most people know who you are, but you probably should do it anyway.
Yeah, so I'm Kathy Jentz. I'm the editor of Washington Gardener magazine, based here in Washington, D.C. and I host the Garden DC podcast, and I have 3 kitties, one of who is like very insistent and squirmy right now. This is Fancy again, that it is playtime. And I am looking forward to this trip. And I think, Ray, maybe we should go over the schedule itself, like day by
Okay.
day, what happens when you arrive, um, and a little bit background about, some of the days so people can imagine what it's like. And I was going to
Okay.
pull up the link and show that. But so the fee covers the tours, the hotel, most meals, correct, but not your airfare.
That is correct.
Okay.
So, in fact, at this point, we've got all of the meals are covered. So the tour actually begins on April 17th, which is on a Wednesday, and you'll actually fly uh, based on the flights that we're suggesting. Everybody would fly overnight, and they would land in Schiphol in the morning, and the bus or the shuttle is scheduled to be there at 11 o'clock to pick everybody up. And on the first day, we're staying at the Golden Tulip Leiden on the first day. And so we'll go from the airport directly there. We'll drop off baggage. Um, and we will have lunch there. And then we go to Emily's Garden, which is a local garden there. And then we go to that garden, and then we come back to the hotel, and we have a welcome dinner that evening. And then that's kind of the very beginning of the tour. We try on day one not to wear everybody out because everybody's going to be worn out from traveling anyway. So it's a pretty light day. Second day, we get up, and the first stop is Hortus Botanicus Leiden. And we visit that. And then I kind of, so I didn't have to go through every day. I've got a couple items on each day. So that is the first thing we're going to do after breakfast. And then we will also go then visit the Royal Delft pottery facility and factory. So not everything that we have is totally focused on garden. We're also on, we try to include that you can't go to some place like the Netherlands and ignore the culture.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a good
we
idea.
do focus the emphasis is on gardening, but it's also on culture and experiencing what it's really like to be there. So and
Yeah,
just I'm
and
going to
there's
back up
some.
for
Oh, Ray, I was just going to say there's some highlights that you wouldn't want to miss. Like, who would go to the Netherlands and not see the Delft factory? Of course, you're going to do some of those highlight things. And plus, you might be with a partner, a friend, a family member traveling with you. And, they're not there for the gardens primarily. They're there to keep you company or just because they're interested and they want to see some of the other things as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and that's what we strive to do is just create a well-rounded experience for everybody, because a lot of the folks that go, this will probably be the only time they've been, and probably the only time that they'll go. So we want them to experience as much as possible without wearing everybody out at the same time. So typically, day one is the only meal that's included there. Well, excuse me, lunch and dinner are included on day one. On day 2 through day 9, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are all included. And then on day 10, which is departure day, then only breakfast is included. So essentially, all meals, it's considered an all-inclusive tour other than airfare. But once you're there, once we've picked you up, um, everything on the tour is paid for. Now, if you want souvenirs, or if you're saying I've got to stop and get a Coke, or whatever, that of course is up to you. But the rest of it is fully covered. Any personal expenses are not covered.
Excellent. Okay. I'm going to share screen if I can. See if that works, just to share the page and show people the page. And you're making me crazy. Share screen. There we go. Okay.
No,
So
I go ahead.
should be showing up. I'm accepting the cookies.
There you
I
go.
go back to, so that's where I have it on my site. So if you go to washingtongardener.blogspot.com and just put in the upper search engine here on the left, if you just put Netherlands, it'll bring you to this page. And then, so that's the basic information. And then you click on the link to the We Travel site, and then it brings you here to the Discover Our Tours page. So I'll scroll down a little bit on that. And this is what Ray is talking about now, is everything that's included. And then maybe we could talk a little bit about the double and single occupancy options, Ray.
You bet. So right now, we've only got on one single occupancy left. And this has been very interesting. Whenever we set up a tour, we have an idea of the way we think it's going to go, but inevitably things are a little bit different. So what we're having is we've got a lot of people that are booking single supplement rooms. And so we're actually working with the hotels right now to try to increase our single occupancy rooms that we have available. That's happening right even as we're speaking. I've got a meeting scheduled for next Wednesday to find out what we're able to do and go from there. So, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Double occupancy obviously is two people. Now that could be a couple. You could have a travel mate, whatever. And one of the things that we try to do is, we do have a lot of usually single females that are traveling alone that don't want to have the added expense of having to book single. So we actually there's kind of two waiting lists. There's a waiting list for anybody that's trying to book a single room. Now your waiting list has not been established for this tour yet, but I'm sure that after this call, it's going to be. And so we actually have two waiting lists. We have the waiting list that you're waiting to get either a single or double occupancy that's not available right now. But at the same time, you may be waiting for a roommate, and that may be a roommate that you're going to go find, or that we have a lot of guests come to us and say, hey, I really don't have anybody that wants to go with me. I want to go on this thing really bad. Is there anybody else that's looking for a roommate? And then what we do is we actually put them in contact with each other, let them, meet over the phone or FaceTime or go have coffee, depending on where they are, and make sure that they're going to be compatible for, 10 days in a hotel room. And then they usually they go ahead and book as a double room as well. So.
Yeah. And I think it's a great way to make friends. And, you'll have a lot in common already just because you're interested in this tour and you're coming through us.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point. That's another, when you go on one of our tours, yes, you're going to go to the destination. You're going to see all these amazing things, but you're also going to make, as you mentioned, you're going to make new friends. And a lot of those friends will probably become lifelong friends. And that's just part of the joy of traveling and doing group travel. So
I scrolled down to the available options, which is a couple of pre-tour options. If you want to go quickly over those before we go over the daytime itinerary a little more.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Right now, because traveling to Europe, it can be a little bit exhausting. We thought, you know what, rather than having people just come in and immediately start the tour, we thought, let's go ahead and let them come in the day before. That way they can go ahead and get to the hotel. That also includes the Anne Frank house is not part of the main tour, but it is part of the pre-tour extension. And the way that the tickets are available for the Anne Frank house is they're not available until 60 days prior to the event. So at this point, the purchase price of the Anne Frank house museum is included. Right now, we don't have them, but as more people sign up for the pre-tour, then it gives us more buying power to be able to actually purchase those two tickets. But again, that'll be something that we know a little bit more of in the coming weeks.
Great. Okay, I'm scrolling a little bit further down. Now this is the actual itinerary. And so we kind of covered
You
day one,
might
and
do me
then
a
I'm
favor,
clicking
and
on to day two. This is
there
my
you
exciting
go.
day.
Um, yeah, and that's one thing I want to make sure that everybody understands is when they're on that site, if you're only viewing one day over on the right,
Mhm.
and I have worked with our web designer to get that fixed, but they're still fighting me, or I'm fighting them. I'm not sure which is the case,
Yeah.
but to make
So
it a
you're
little
just
bit
like
easier to understand.
clicking
Yeah,
over
just
here
click
on the right, and then I'll click.
exactly, and then
I'm just going to
and
click
the
quickly through just to show, and then we'll scroll back to day two again. There's some gorgeous photos, Ray.
and
Oh,
then and then the
there we
pre-tour
go.
extension is actually at the end. So there's actually one more,
Mhm.
but which is the pre-tour extension.
Okay, I'm scrolling back all the way to the Hortus Botanicus. There we go.
Okay.
And I'll scroll a little down so you can actually read that down there. Okay. Did you want to say anything about the Hortus or the Rosarium? I know we touched on the Royal Delft pottery a little bit.
Um, I other than what is there, I don't know that I have a lot to add.
Mm-hmm. So we're having lunch at I'm gonna butcher my Dutch, right? Westbrook
Well,
Park. Because I have German
you know,
background, but I'm gonna pronounce everything with a German or English accent, I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, it's kind of been funny because as we put this together, it's all been in writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like you, it's like I have no idea when I try to pronounce these if I'm saying them properly or not. So,
And
and
that's
my
a yeah.
I do good just to be able to speak English. So,
Well, I think that's a good question too for some of our tour goers might be interested in, do you need to know a foreign language? I think we can get by. Everybody's going to be speaking English to us on the tours, correct?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, let me address that. That's a good question. So you when you get picked up at the airport, you'll be picked up by a shuttle, and your shuttle driver may or may not be fluent in English, but also on the shuttle there is a full-time tour guide, and the full-time tour guide is fluent in English. So there really isn't any need. I think whenever you travel to a new country with a new language, it's always fun, and it's definitely appreciated by the citizens of that country if you know how to say good morning, thank you, please, whatever you can learn beforehand. um it's always fun, and it always brings a smile to people's face because they all know that you're not from there.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to, for them to know that you're at least putting forth a little bit of effort to um to appreciate their language, um it goes a long way. It really does. It's just amazing.
And
So
how about, I mean, also know we need our passport, need to pack appropriately for the weather. What are we thinking? Like sweater for the day, light jacket for the night type of thing?
yes. And I um so the weather in the US and the weather in the Netherlands are very similar, depending on where you are in the US. But in April, yeah, you're going to want to be able to, you're definitely going to want a jacket. So let me kind of start from the big, let me start at the bottom. Shoes, walking shoes. You
Yep.
definitely want to have a very good, stable, comfortable pair of walking shoes. And because there's a lot of walking, There's like, you'll be going up and down stairs. So you want to make sure that you're not only comfortable, but you want to make sure that you're secure and safe in your footing. So that's always very important. I would recommend long pants at this point in April. I would recommend, as we've all learned, you want to dress in layers. So you want to have a t-shirt, you want to have an overshirt, and you want to have maybe a sweatshirt and a jacket. So as temperatures change, you can adjust accordingly. So as
And
far as
Ray,
rain, go
oh
ahead.
yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
was
so
just gonna say, yeah.
rain is always an issue. It's obviously we've been trying for thousands of years, but we cannot predict the weather.
Mhm.
So, rain gear. Let's put it this way: you definitely want a rain jacket. Um, I always tell everybody, and it's kind of nice. If you have, I don't travel with my favorite water bottle, but I do like to travel with a water bottle
Mhm.
because, pretty much obviously we're going to Europe, so we're not looking at Central America, so water quality is not necessarily a concern, but it's always nice to have water with you for multiple reasons. And so I always encourage everybody. One thing about traveling with a water bottle is don't go make sure when you go into the airport it's empty, because otherwise
Yes.
they're going to take it away from you.
Yeah. Or
and,
empty
and
it right
I,
before you get to customs. And what about leaving stuff on our like shuttle bus or sorry, transportation? So if you have an
yeah,
extra or a heavy water bottle on you or something.
yeah, leaving stuff in the bus will be secure. The driver will always be with the bus. So I don't know that I would leave my purse or my wallet laying on the seat wide open, but yeah, you'll be secure in the bus. So if you've got, the other thing you want to take is like a day pack.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we don't, we're staying in. I have to go back through, I believe, 4 different hotels, and so we're there's going to be nights where you're going to be in the same hotel. Well, in that case, you're not obviously taking your luggage, so you want to make sure that you take, take a little day pack with you, so you've got, you can put your purse or your wallet in that, and sunscreen, chapstick, whatever you may need, to be comfortable throughout the day. Your phone, you always, everybody always puts their phone in their back pocket. That is a really bad idea,
Mm.
especially as a tourist. So you want to make sure that you've got your phone in a backpack or a fanny pack of some sort like that. So
We're secured somewhere. So speaking of
exactly.
phone, international phone plans, what are you recommending, Ray?
It depends. It depends on what kind of service you have in the States. Personally, I have T-Mobile,
Mm-hmm.
which works out really well because their international plan is very good. Um, and I think what I would do is I think you're better off to ask your carrier that question and let them, say, look, I'm going to the Netherlands. What are my international charges looking at? Can I adjust my plan? Can I get 2 weeks or so many days of a plan, or what their options are? Short of that, or just beyond that, my recommendation to everybody is to use WhatsApp. And Kathy, I know you're familiar with WhatsApp. Um, WhatsApp is not very popular, not very well known in the United States, but it is used all over the rest of the world. People use WhatsApp to communicate because it's a phone call platform and it's a texting platform. And so, for example, if I was going on the with, my wife and I were going on this tour, and we needed to make sure we could get hold of the person that's taking care of the dog, or we need to make sure we can get hold of our kids. What I do is I tell them, I say, look, I need you to download the WhatsApp app, put in my contact information, and then you and I can communicate with each other anywhere in the world absolutely for free as long as we have Wi-Fi. And today in today's world, you've got Wi-Fi, and almost every restaurant has Wi-Fi. Hotels all have Wi-Fi. Coffee shops, venues, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. So, there probably will be moments when you're not connected, which you just say, hey, I need to go find Wi-Fi and make a phone call. And so that works out perfect. The other advantage of WhatsApp is, Kathy, as a tour leader, you're going to want to have everybody that's on that tour created into a group on WhatsApp. So you can send out one text message that says, hey, we need to all be at breakfast at 7:15 in the morning. And that goes out to everybody all at once. At the same time, you can communicate with one person on the tour just as easily as you can with the group. If you need to say to somebody, hey, I found your sunglasses in the bus, come to my room and I'll give them back to you, you can send them a message. It's just an amazing feature. It really is. So, and that's, I don't have a link for that, but it's the app is called WhatsApp. It's WHATSAPP. No, there is an S in it. WHATSAPP. WhatsApp.
So like what's up, but WhatsApp. And I believe it's owned by Meta. I think if you're on Facebook and Instagram, then your account will go across to there as well. So we only have a couple minutes left, Ray. Is there anything important that we haven't discussed yet that we should?
I think the itinerary is phenomenal. If you go to the link and you go to the website, you're going to go through there. But one thing that I really want to make sure that we talk about is that on day number 4, which is Saturday, we've got a really unique experience that we've put together, and we actually the tour, the guests, will be visiting Keukenhof, and at Keukenhof will actually be in attendance in the grandstands for the Dutch Flower Parade. And so that is something that's just, literally it's just a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. And that is mentioned, I think. Is it on there on Saturday?
Yeah, I got Saturday pulled up.
It is. And so to me, that's like huge. And I think everybody that's going to experience that, they'll never forget it. That's for sure.
Yeah, you'll be taking tons of photos with your smartphone or whichever camera you bring. I know I'll have to clear out some memory space for mine.
Yeah.
Add to the iCloud. Buy some extra photo memory before you go, definitely, and have everything juiced up and extra batteries. So in our last minute together, Ray, do you want to give your contact information again so people can follow up with any questions, anything like that?
Yeah, I can give my email address is the best way to get hold of me. And my email address is Ray, RAY, at discoverourtours.com. That's the best way to get hold of me. I also have a phone number that I can give out. Is that okay to do on the
sure, if you don't mind here?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So my phone number is 816-842-7500. And most of the time I'm not able to answer the phone. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant. But if you feel more comfortable talking on the phone, call me, leave me a voicemail, and I will call you back. Or you might call and leave me your email address and I'll email you back. But nonetheless, just know that when you call, you're probably going to leave a message. So
great. Okay. Thanks so much, Ray. We're summing up now. And thanks everybody who joined us in the live chat. I see a few people sitting there, and this recording will be available for people to view afterwards. And thank you for taking time out of your day, Ray, to join us. And we're so looking forward to the tour.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm very excited. I'm ready for you guys to head off to the Netherlands.